They say when they put something out um, on the net, it's because they want us to see it. Do you all remember? I believe it was in 2024 or early 2025 that uh, most of these little popular truthers they started talking about this tabletop bio attack exercise that these people were predicting that could actually happen on the 4th of July 2025. Y'all remember that? Okay, again, they put these things out so we can see them. They knew everybody, this is what I believe. They knew everybody would spread it, especially these little truthers that have these popular channels. They knew everybody would spread it. So when it didn't happen in 2025, then it just went away as fake news. Now, I'm not saying that anything is going to happen on July 4th, 2026. But I will say the conditions are ripe for something to happen. I mean, everything is in place. Everything is in place. You notice on the news, they've been talking about water shortages and it's getting real hot. It's all over the news. So that's going to be the excuse for, the climate change. They've been talking about people getting sick, and here recently they talking about some kind of stomach virus, What else? They got the vaccine that AI made. So when everybody gets sick, they got quantum technology where everybody can receive the vaccine all over the world. So it's like they got everything in place. Now, the Lord said that those who weren't watching, that day was going to catch them when they least expected, paraphrasing. It's going to catch them unaware. Now that everybody has forgotten about the fact that they put this scenario, as they called it, they put this scenario out about a 4th of July attack in 2025. Now that everybody has pretty much forgotten about that, I guess, everybody is excited now because Babylon is going to celebrate 250 years. I mean, everybody's thinking about celebrating. And what did Jesus say? It's going to be just like in the days of Noah. People going to be eating and drinking. What people do on the 4th? And they got these stores that's full of the merch with the 250 year merchandise. They got the socks, the shirts, they got the hats. And I guarantee you some of the saints then went out and got their 250 year merchandise. And I already told y'all, if y'all love America, you love the world. And see, this is how they were able to get you, patriots, those of you who love your country. This is how they were able to get you. They got you all to fall in love with Babylon. And you should know that Babylon is a part of the world, right? America is a part of the world, right? The foolish brides, the foolish loving on America. Everybody gonna be eating, drinking, and celebrating on the 250th day. Everybody gonna be out hanging out in Washington, on the lawn. And the Lord said in that day, He said, "No man knows the day or the hour." But He said it's gonna catch them unaware. It's gonna come when you least expect it. And see, nobody is thinking about this scenario that they came out with. Everybody's put that in the back of their mind since it didn't come out in 2025. It's fake news. But they say whenever they do things, they have to show us. So they say. I just think that's God's way of exposing them, that they tell us everything that they're going to do. And even though they said it would happen in 2025, what if it happens in 2026? What if it happens in 2026? That everything just, while everybody is cheering and laughing, and they don't even realize that the rapture is taking place when it does happen. Because everybody going to be celebrating. The Word of God says that in the days of Noah, they were partying and hanging out and having fun, and they didn't even realize what was going on until the flood came. It just came out of nowhere. And again, I'm not saying that this thing is going to happen on the 4th, but it actually could, because all the conditions are right for it to happen. The conditions are perfect for it to happen. They got everything they need. They got the artificial intelligence created a vaccine. They got the quantum technology all set up. They got the weather going crazy, because they're going to blame everything on climate change. So when they give the digital IDs, you must do this because, the climate is changing. They got everything set up. Water shortages. They got everything set up. So when they tell people that this is why you need to get your digital IDs, it's because look what's going on. Look at this biological attack. Now, I'm not sure if you all caught it, but they mentioned something about Iran was going to do an attack on American soil to get revenge. As America has always done, whenever they do something to their own people, they always blame somebody else. So Iran probably didn't even say that. That's probably something that America put out on the news. Propaganda. They do stuff like that. I don't understand how anybody can love this country. I understand, this is where you were born, but you have no business loving the world. But let me read to you, because I made a video when this thing came out. I think it was early 2024, it could have been early 2025. I forget exactly when it came out. But it says a scenario. The following hypothetical opening remarks by the chair of a congressional joint inquiry provide context for this report by portraying a biological attack sufficient to cause the catastrophic consequences warned of by the Bipartisan Commission on Biodefense. The scenario describes how a biological agent could target humans and animals, how it could emerge, some of the key interagency capabilities required to address the agent and its impacts, and the consequences of failure. It says the joint inquiry into administration and congressional actions before and during the bioterrorist attacks of July 4th, 2025. Now, remember, this is their little scenario. They did something like this about 10 months before COVID came out, little tabletop exercise. So this is what they say this was. But the one with COVID, it came true. They didn't give a date. They just said, what if it did happen? 11 months later, then COVID happened. The only difference is they put a date on this one. I think they put a date on it so when it didn't happen, everybody could just say it was fake news. But I believe it is going to happen. And it could possibly happen this 4th of July. I'm not saying it will, but the conditions are right for it. U.S. House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence Chair. I called this first hearing of the joint inquiry to order. 9 weeks ago, some nation or terrorist group, we still do not know who, attacked the nation's capital and other U.S. cities with biological weapons as we celebrated Independence Day. The infectious agent they used killed at least 280,000 Americans and infected at least 400,000 throughout the country in a single day. In addition to the 200,000 dead and the 800,000 sickened animals. They say these numbers will increase as the disease okay, I got to find another one to read. Okay, these numbers will increase as the disease spreads. Many of our colleagues and staff here in Congress fell ill and died. Coordinated attacks in allied nations in the days that followed killed tens of thousands more. We are now hearing that the terrorists conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities prior to the July 4th incidents to test our defenses and gauge our responses. These smaller scale attacks went largely unnoticed. Laboratory tests confirm that Nipah virus caused the disease, but we still do not know what methods our adversaries used to infect humans and spread the disease among livestock in rural communities. This is how they're going to get people into the little smart cities. They tried to burn them out and flood them out, but I guess this will do it. Animals and people were sick for more than a month before we realized what had happened. While the virus is in the same family as other common human and animal viruses, most American veterinarians and physicians had never seen Nipah virus before, which delayed recognition. The virus, which in nature does not spread easily among people, was genetically modified to increase its ability to spread from animal to animal, animal to person, and person to person, while still retaining a mortality rate of over 40%. Now remember, this was a scenario that they put out. And another reason I say the conditions are ripe is because you notice whenever Trump has a rally or some kind of little party or an engagement, here recently, there has always been some type of attack. You notice that? Yeah, they said the last time when they had the little UFC fight, they talked about it was like maybe 5 or 6 people that planned to kill so many people. They say somebody came and destroyed the little pool or whatever. It's always something, and I just think that is just setting the stage. So people won't believe it. Because, it's a lot of people, are not buying this whole thing about him being shot at and, maybe 5 or 6 people wanted to attack the people at the UFC event on the lawn. A lot of people, it's like, okay, enough is enough. So they really not going to buy into this whole 4th of July thing, even though they said it had happened in 2025. I haven't heard anybody mention that this thing could possibly happen this 4th. I haven't heard anybody say it. But if somebody said, maybe some of you who are listening may say, fake news. But again, the conditions are actually perfect. Now, one of the other conditions that make this thing perfect is they say explosive diarrhea illness reported in Texas as CDC investigates multi-state outbreak. Tell me the conditions aren't right. Now they said 2025, July 4th. It could happen this July 4th. Texas is among the states reporting cases in a multi-state outbreak of psycho whatever and intestinal illness caused by the parasite Cyclopora. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, the CDC has confirmed 145 illnesses across 17 states between May 1st and June 16th. Texas has reported between 11 and 30 confirmed cases, making it one of the states with the highest number of infections during the outbreak. 20 people have been hospitalized nationwide, but no deaths have been reported. Now, they mentioned that in the scenario that before the 4th of July attack, that it was like little things happening across the country. This could be some of the little things prior to it. I'm not sure if it happens. Health officials say the illness is best known for causing frequent watery diarrhea that can become severe or explosive. Other symptoms include stomach cramps, bloating, nausea, fatigue, loss of appetite, weight loss, and increased gas. Symptoms typically begin about a week after consuming food or water contaminated with the parasite and can last for weeks if left untreated. Investigators have not yet identified the source of the outbreak. According to the CDC, none of the infected patients reported recent international travel. Suggesting the illnesses were likely linked to contaminated food consumed within the United States. Previous cyclospora outbreaks have been associated with fresh produce such as cilantro, basil, leafy greens, and berries. They just say anything. These people are such big liars. The Texas Department of State Health Services notes that cyclospora infections are most common between May and August. The agency advises healthcare providers to consider testing patients with prolonged diarrhea and recommends the public thoroughly wash fresh fruits and vegetables, practice good hand hygiene, and seek medical care if symptoms persist. The illness can be treated with prescriptions, antibiotics once diagnosed. State and federal health officials, including the CDC, FDA, and DSHS, continue working to identify the source of the outbreak and prevent additional illnesses. Now remember, this vaccine that AI just created, it treats you for everything. Everything. So they got an answer for the problem. And see, it's going to be so bad that this is why those who refuse to take it, they're going to put you in camps. Because you remember how they used to how they were blaming the anti-vaxxers for spreading COVID? But see, COVID was just a dress rehearsal. So when this thing does happen, if you refuse to take the advice from the professionals, which will be getting this new vaccine that AI has created, if you refuse to do it, you will be put in camps. And I've been saying how close we are to the tribulation period. This thing could happen any day, this month, next month, this year, or whenever the Lord says so. But again, all the conditions are like perfect for this thing to actually happen on the 4th, 2026. Because everybody's going to be celebrating. It's going to be just like in the days of Noah. Everybody going to be having fun. Even the saints. With their red, white, and blue 250-year merchandise on. Everybody's going to be just excited and somewhere watching the fireworks. I mean, just like the Lord said, foolish virgins. Gonna be caught without enough oil in your lamps. You ain't got no business representing Babylon. You have no business representing Babylon. See, you all have been deceived by these wolves in sheep's clothing. So y'all see a lot of these pastors who are patriotic, who love America. All of them, they either wear the pins on their jackets, the coats, or they got a flag on their desk, or in the church or somewhere. You all have been deceived. You have no business representing the world. America is a part of the world. Do you not know that? Don't let Satan fool you. Don't let Satan fool you. The word of God says, if it was possible, even the very elect would be deceived. And most of the Christians are going to miss the rapture because they love America. And when the rapture takes place, they're going to be somewhere with their hand over their chest and making a salute, especially those who have been in the military. You're going to miss it. You have been deceived. This is your opportunity on today. Today, when you hear this, don't harden your heart. You have no business loving or representing America. Breaking news. Iran calls for attack on U.S. soil. This came out on June 29th, 2026. Says Witkoff, Kushner to head to Qatar for Iran talks as hardliner demands dead Ayatollah Ali Khamenei be avenged on American soil. I don't believe those people said that. They could have. But America has always used the boogeyman. They'll give us a boogeyman, and it has always been them that has did the heinous acts upon their own people. Now, again, I want to go back to that scenario. It says the following hypothetical opening remarks by the chair of a congressional joint inquiry provide context for this report by portraying a biological attack sufficient to cause the catastrophic consequences warned by the Bipartisan Commission on Biodefense. The scenario describes how a biological agent could target humans and animals. They could actually say, yeah, remember we said that Iran said that they were going to do some kind of attack. This is it. American, they're liars. Why do you think they're going to be destroyed in one day and in 1 hour? And y'all got the nerve to be walking around with 250-year anniversary shirts on, representing Babylon. See, y'all ain't used to hearing nobody tell you this. This is why you can't receive it. You've been deceived by false teachers. It says again, the scenario describes how a biological agent could target humans and animals, how it could emerge, some of the key interagency capabilities required to address the agent and its impacts, and the consequences of failure. Chair, they say, I call call this first hearing, okay, keep in mind this is a scenario. I call this first hearing of the joint inquiry to order. 9 weeks ago, some nation or terrorist group, we still do not know who attacked the nation's capital and other U.S. cities with biological weapons. They say they don't know what this thing that's causing people to get sick here recently. As we celebrated Independence Day, the infectious agent they used killed at least 280,000 Americans and infected at least 400,000 throughout the country in a single day. In addition to the 200,000 dead and the 800,000 sickened animals. These numbers will increase as the disease spreads. Many of our own colleagues and staff here in Congress fell ill and died. Coordinated attacks in allied nations in the days that followed killed tens of thousands more. If this thing happens on the 4th, and you all witness, anybody who misses the rapture, and you all witness that many of the staff at Congress fell ill and died, then you all know they planned this thing. In the days following, they say it killed tens of thousands more. If you all hear them over the news saying tens and thousands more, if they give these numbers here, because you know that tabletop exercise they did with COVID, everything that they said is exactly how it happened with COVID. So it could play out this same way. It could play out this same way. They said at least 280,000 Americans and infected at least 400,000 throughout the country in a single day. If they get on the news and quote these numbers, then y'all know they planned this thing. Just like they planned COVID. They say we are now hearing that the terrorists, Americans, conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities prior to the July 4th incident to test our defense and gauge our responses. Again, in Texas, the CDC is saying that, it's different places, over the world that people are getting sick. So this could be what they're talking about. We are now hearing that the terrorists conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities prior to the July 4th incidents to test our defenses and gauge our responses. Now, this is talking about people are going to get sick. Just like what the CDC said. These smaller scale attacks went largely unnoticed. How many people heard about this whole stomach virus thing that's been going around? Laboratory tests confirm that Nipah virus caused the disease. I haven't looked it up, but I'm wondering the symptoms that they gave the CDC about this thing that this stomach virus. I wonder if it's the same symptoms as the Nipah virus. I'm going to look it up. They say we still do not know what methods or adversaries used to infect humans and spread the disease among livestock in rural communities. Animals and people were sick for more than a month before we realized what had happened. Now, the CDC said this thing happened. They said people started getting sick when? In May or June? While the virus is the same family as other common human and animal viruses, most American veterinarians and physicians had never seen Nipah virus before, which delayed recognition. The virus, which in nature does not spread easily among people, was genetically modified to increase its ability to spread. Now, they said it was genetically modified. That's what this scenario is saying. This thing was genetically modified. Now, if they get on the news, anybody who missed the rapture, if this thing does happen on the 4th, and they get on the news and say this was a genetically modified bioweapon, then y'all know this thing was just like what they did with COVID, with that event 201. Everything they talked about in COVID, I mean, the numbers from the steps they were going to use to take to keep everybody safe, and everything they did, it happened. Now, let me look up this Nipah virus to see if the symptoms are similar to these symptoms that the CDC said about this, I think, Cyclospora infections. I'm going to see if the symptoms are the same, which they say cause frequent watery diarrhea that can be explosive. Other symptoms include stomach cramps, bloating, nausea, fatigue, loss of appetite, weight loss, and increased gas. Symptoms typically begin about a week after consuming food or water that's been contaminated. Now, let me look up this Nipah virus symptoms and see if it's similar. Give me a moment. Okay, it says the Nipah virus symptoms range from mild flu-like signs to severe fatal brain inflammation. It says the illness typically begins with an incubation period of 4 to 14 days, followed by acute symptoms that usually last 3 to 14 days. Initial symptoms: high fever, severe headache, muscle pain, fatigue, extreme fatigue, sore throat, coughing, nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. Approximately half of infected individuals also develop respiratory problems early on, including breathing difficulties and atypical pneumonia. So, I don't know. It just seems like, again, the conditions are ripe. I'm not saying that it will happen. But, again, it just seems like every time Trump here recently has some kind of event, something happens. So they say anyway. And I mean, who knows? Something may actually happen on this 4th, and it may be the beginning of the 7-year tribulation period. Again, they already got the stage set. They already said that Iran calls for attack on U.S. soil. In that scenario, they said that somebody was going to do that. Some terrorist was going to do that on U.S. soil. And they already got an outbreak. That Texas, this article here came out on the day. CDC has confirmed 145 illnesses across 17 states between May 1st and June 16th. And in the scenario, they said that these things happened. They said we were we are now hearing that the terrorists conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities. So this whole outbreak with this if I'm pronouncing it right, cyclospora thing, this could be the little smaller scales. So if they, after they make the reports, if this thing does happen, if they say this cyclospora or whatever was the smaller scale attacks, if they say that, then y'all know this thing has been planned. But again, if you love America, you're in deep trouble. I gotta keep saying it, because I know those of you who are on YouTube, yeah. Those of you who are on YouTube, yeah, y'all love America. Y'all love America. Y'all don't hear nobody talking like this concerning America. Most Christians, especially these truthers, these people who have these popular channels, they call themselves patriots. They're Christian patriots. They love their country, and they can't stand what they're seeing being done to their country. It's funny how when Obama was president, they were talking about how he was trying to destroy their country. And see, then you get somebody like Trump that seems like he's helping to make your country great again. You fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Why? Because you love this world. You love this world. And a lot of you so-called Christians, now y'all like to say now, God can use anybody. We need to pray for the president. You didn't have that same energy when Obama was president. You didn't say, well, God can use anybody. We need to pray for President Obama. You didn't have that same energy. See, a lot of you going to miss the rapture because you have hate in your heart. A lot of you hated Obama simply because he was a black man. Yep. Yep, that's the truth. And see, the Lord knows what's in your heart. A lot of you are going to miss the rapture because the Lord says, I have this thing against you. Yeah. Now you want to pray for Trump. God can use him. Even though he's an evil guy, God can still use him. But I just didn't hear the American patriots saying that about Obama when he was president. Now, again, Obama was one of them. He's just as wicked as they were. But it's like the hatred towards Obama was like so intense. From the American, let's just say, from the American Christians. Oh, they hated him. Go look up any of those old videos of some of those pastors talking about what Obama is doing to the country. He's making it a socialist country. My country. See, this is how Trump got y'all. This is how he got y'all. Because you love this world. We're to wear this world like a loose garment. We're in it, but we're not of it. We should be just like the 3 Hebrew boys. As Daniel got older, he was looking forward to going home. He would often talk about the prophecy of Jeremiah when he talked about the 70 years. He was looking forward to going home, and he would pray. He would open his window and he would face Jerusalem. He would face Israel and pray 3 times a day. He was looking forward to going home because he knew Babylon was not his home. And this is how Christians should be right now. You shouldn't be proud Americans. You shouldn't be Christian Americans. Babylon is not your home. Or is it? If it's your home, you're going to miss the rapture. And it very well, it could take place in a few days from now. Y'all take care.